Welcome to She's in the Weeds.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Hollis.
We're best friends exploring the intersection of pop culture and the female experience.
Be sure to follow us on socials and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you love us, give us that 5-star review.
Nailed it?
I think it's fine.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, here we are.
Hey.
Did we maybe finally figure it out?
Maybe. We have an exciting announcement for you guys.
We do.
We have signed up to run a 5K.
Woohoo!
Ooh, we're doing Hoosiers. We're doing Hoosiers Outrun Cancer in October.
Yes.
So
Very exciting.
which will be meaningful because you've had some cancer experience in your family recently. So
Yes.
it'll be a nice way to honor your dad.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. Yeah, I feel like it just kind of came about because Hollis was like, well, I'm running. And I was like, I feel like I was like, for any reason, you're like, I don't know. And then it's like, well, we should run a 5K. And so now we are.
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of started doing it to like,
Just to do it.
yeah, just to like complement our strength training workouts.
Yeah.
I don't want to strength train every day, but I
Right.
felt like I needed something else to supplement, you know? So running/walking seemed like a good option. And I've always just had this thing in my head that like, I'm not a runner. I hate running.
Right.
And I just think that's a roadblock I've applied to myself for no reason for so
Right.
long. I mean, I did used to hate it, and I was kind of incapable of doing it because I think I was so out of shape for a long time. But now that I'm healthier than I have been and I exercise more, I can actually do it for a sustained amount of time now.
Right. Yeah.
So I am a runner now. Just decided.
We are runners. I mean, we'll see. I used to run occasionally. Well, I mean, when I say run, I mean jog. I
Yeah.
jogged relatively consistently for a couple of years. And I did Orange Theory, which was pretty like endurance based. But I definitely never been like a distance runner.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. Like, we'll see.
And
Hopefully.
I'm not built for speed. You know, like I have no goals of like improving my mile pace or anything.
Right.
I truly just want to like
complete the race.
Complete the race. Yes, in terms of the 5K, complete the race. But I also just want to move my body more. Just like another way to get outside and keep active.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I feel like is a little bit more like cardiovascularly challenging than walking. I know there's a lot of data and research that shows that walking is actually the best form of exercise for you.
Yeah.
But I feel like I got to get my heart rate up more, and I just don't do that when I walk.
Sure. Yeah,
So.
no, I agree. Yeah, walking doesn't get the heart rate up really high enough, but I do think like especially the older you get, like running is definitely more like injury prone. Like it's not great on your joints and knees and stuff like that. So I'm definitely gonna continue to be a walking gal, but yeah, it is nice to get the heart rate up a little bit. It's funny because I was, we've been training for it, and I was running the other day, and I mean this was probably my fault too because it was like 94 degrees, and I was running at like 1 o'clock, getting into the hottest part of the day, but I had my watch on and like. I was trying to get to 1.5 miles straight without stopping. Normally, if I just like put my watch up, the screen of the watch will come on and I can see like how much further I have to go. And for some reason, I kept doing this and like the screen wasn't lighting up. I was like getting desperate, and I felt like that scene in Beauty and the Beast when he's like, "Show me the girl." Desperate to see where I was, and it just like was not working, and but finally I made it.
I know. I mean, I am still at that point where like pushing myself is hard. Yeah. Like I almost made it 2 miles the other day. Yeah. My dumbass was like, it was raining. We had a lot of rain here lately. And I was like, man, I really wanted to run today because I'm trying to do it so many times a week to get ready for this 5K because I don't want to just completely collapse on the day of the race. So I was like, I'm going to see if I could do 2, which is like a lot more than I've done.
Right.
So it was raining and then there was a break and I was like, oh, I think it's done. I guess I didn't even look at the weather to see. And it cooled down by like 20 degrees, it felt like. Because it was like upper 90s. And I was like,
it's been so hot.
It's like, this is perfect. Like, this is perfect running weather. So I go out and then I could just see these black clouds rolling in. I was like, oh no. And I mean, it was storming, like thundering, lightning, like crazy bad winds. I was like,
that's one way to motivate you, though.
Yeah, I was like a mile away from my house, and I was like, crap. And I did run faster, but oh boy, I was dying by the end of it.
Yeah,
yeah, and soaking wet. I had a white tank top on too. I was just like, this is so many bad decisions happened before this run. So. Well.
Great conversation. Well, I was gonna say, well, that's why we're in our running attire, but you're not in your. You put a button-down shirt on. So.
Yeah, but I have waist down in my running attire. So.
Yes, you do have your biker shorts on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna run after this pod.
Yes.
We'll see. I haven't ran in a couple days. You know what's so unfair about exercising and working out is like, it takes so long to get in shape and get your body like capable and used to things, and it takes what feels like 2 days
to get out of it.
Yeah.
No, I know. For sure. I know. 100%.
So it sucks.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that way. They were just talking about this on Wait, Don't Tell Me that I was listening to this morning. Because I had a question about like I think what was it, like 2.5 times a week working out is not acceptable, the norm anymore, that it's actually something like, I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but it's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a month. I can't remember now, but it was like, it would calculate out to 9 hours a week. And I was just like, 9 hours a week? Like, that's a lot.
That's like, more than an hour every day.
Yeah, like who's doing like 2 hours at a gym 4 to 5 times a week? Like, that's a lot.
Who has time for that? And
I don't know.
What about rest and recovery?
I know.
Like, what do you mean?
Right. And they didn't go into like what kind of exercise that means. That is. Like, is that just walking, moving 2 hours,
right,
9 hours a week? Or is it like strength resistance training? I don't know.
Right.
But I was like, ain't nobody going to be doing that.
No, that's too much. It's too much.
And I mean, that was to avoid heart disease and premature, death. So like,
great.
Yeah. I mean, that seems
to prevent death, work out 9 hours a week. Wonderful.
I don't know. That seems like best case scenario. Because like, there are so many things. You could work out that many hours a week and still keel over. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. So we got that going for us.
Good. I know. Even just like 3 days a week in the gym sometimes feels like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be working out that much, you also have to calculate in naps, which is another thing I'd like to talk about. I've never been a good napper. In the past, I've always taken naps that were like 3 hours, just like earn a nap. I never understood the like 30-minute nap because my question is the nap, are you supposed to be falling all the way asleep? Or is it just like, is there like this in between of awake and sleep, which is where you're supposed to land with the nap, where you're like not totally asleep, but you're not totally awake. You're just kind of resting. Yeah. Like, is that what we're aiming for with nap? Or are we trying to fall all the way to sleep? Because if I fall all the way asleep and I wake myself back up in like 30 to 45 minutes, I am not happy.
Right.
I'm grumpy. I'm cranky. And I'm just like for hours after. Like, it takes me like a couple hours to regulate back to like my state before I was asleep.
Yeah. I've never understood that either. I've never been a napper because I'm the same. It's never been beneficial for me. I think everybody's different, but yeah, there is supposed to be that like sweet spot. What is it, like 22 minutes or something? Yeah. Like, it's like a very specific amount of time, the power nap time or whatever. I don't see how you could be falling all the way asleep.
Right. That was always my question too. It was like, it takes me at least a half an hour.
Yeah.
To really fall asleep, unless it's at night and I'm just exhausted.
Right.
But yeah, and I will say I have done a nap recently where I am like, I'm not all the way asleep, and I am like, oh, okay, I do feel energized from that.
Yeah.
But I was like, this what I'm this is what I have been supposed to be doing this whole time?
Yeah.
And I've just been like, because I do love a 3-hour nap when on like a weekend day where I'm like, I don't have anything to do, and like, take a nap. Like, it's nice, but it's not practical, especially like the older you get.
Right.
And then I'm also so thirsty when I wake up from naps. Are you that way?
I
mean,
mean,
you don't nap.
I haven't taken enough naps to know, to be honest.
Anytime I take a nap, I wake up and I'm just like, like so parched, and then I can't quench it. It's like, do I just sleep with my mouth open when I'm napping the whole time, or is this like, I need to talk to a nap scientist and be like, what is happening physiologically in my body that makes me so thirsty when I wake up from a nap? And I'm not really like that when I wake up from a sleep.
From like the nighttime? Yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I wonder.
No. It's probably a sign of some terrible disorder.
Your hypochondriac kicks in. What's wrong with me? I'm dying.
I've also been getting this tingling on my forehead lately, and I'm like, well, I'm going to have a stroke probably any day.
That's probably perimenopause.
Probably. Probably.
Probably.
Dang.
Any like little weird thing on like perimenopause.
Yeah. Well,
for sure.
That's actually a little comforting, because I was like, do I have to go back to my doctor and be like, my forehead's tingling? And they're going to be like, okay. What do you want me to say to that? And I'm like, but I am concerned about it. Like, it didn't used to tingle, and now it does. Like,
right?
Is that weird? I don't know. Should I be concerned about that?
Did you ever figure out you're like?
No, it just comes and goes.
Yeah.
I told my doctor about it. They didn't seem too concerned, so I was like,
right.
all right.
Well, yeah, they never do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right. I'll just wait till it gets really bad, I guess, and then go back. And then sue them for malpractice. No, not
That's
really.
right.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too, where it's just like, God, it's so hard to advocate for yourself. Because, like, what are you supposed to do? Like,
yeah,
annoy your doctors and just, like, keep bringing up the same things and pressuring them and run the risk of, like...
Yeah.
Run the risk of them looking at you differently and maybe possibly, like, giving you worse care because they don't like you and you're a problem for them.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. So...
It's a racket.
It is. It is. Anyways, on to something lighter.
Well, I don't know if this is lighter, but I found this to be kind of interesting. You know, we talked a little bit about what was going on with Ariana Grande and her stepping away from the spotlight and all of that. And I saw a handful of people coming out and talking about how, you know, there are certain types of content that are categorized as like self-harm, and that kind of content is obviously like not allowed on TikTok, Instagram, different platforms. And I saw some people coming out saying how like clearly emaciated people coming on to TikTok and like different platforms should be considered self-harm content, and how that's dangerous for people to be seeing. And I don't know, I thought it was an interesting conversation. I kind of wanted to get your take on. I mean, obviously I think there's some clear problems with how we would set parameters for something like that, but I don't know, what's your take?
Yeah, my first reaction is that's a very slippery slope, because then like who decides exactly what is considered self-harm, and then do we start saying fat people are, you can't show pictures because that's self-harm too, you know? It's like I get that people are trying to find a solution for what seems to be a really scary problem right now. The obsession we have with being thin.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know how you regulate that.
I don't either. I know. And one was referencing some comments that parents had sent in that some of their children had made about, specifically around, I think it was Ariana Grande's video that got released, her music video. But one of the comments was a little girl had asked her mom how old she needed to be before her bones started showing.
Oh, Jesus.
And so that's kind of what this particular person that was talking about it was sort of basing it on some comments that parents had sent in from their kids. So like, and just talking about how it is dangerous, can be dangerous for kids to see things like this. And yeah, I get it too. But, and I'll be honest, there's a handful of creators on TikTok that have, popped up in my algorithm as I've been scrolling. And I mean, I'll be honest, like my reaction was just like, what is this? Yeah. And it's, yeah, I understand it, but it's just like, there's no way to like regulate like what even is emaciated versus somebody who's just thin. And like, I mean, you can't, I mean, I think, oftentimes we can see it with our eyes and be like, this is not normal or healthy. But at the same time, who has the authority to say, and at a certain point with algorithms and social media platforms, you're probably kind of giving AI the authority to decide. And it's like, that's a very slippery slope. I don't know. I understand the sentiment, but I just don't think there's any way to like put that into any kind of practical use.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
because then it's like, what are we then at some point are we asking these people to prove that they are either naturally skinny or it's just like
and medical information is all privileged information. I mean, you can't there's just no way for it to be a thing. But it was interesting conversation. I mean, I get it, but
yeah, for sure, because again, I think this is the bigger conversation is like, what do we do about this?
Exactly.
I think people are concerned for the people who are posting these photos, and then all the consumers. And
yes,
it's also a bigger question of like, how do we make the internet a safe place?
Yes.
How do we make social media a safe place? And I just don't know if it is.
We can.
I think the answer more and more is just like, it's definitely not a place for kids.
Yeah.
It's just not. Yeah. And like, if you're going to try to regulate the internet for your child, it's a losing game. I don't, you know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
Which is sad because I mean, I think it's one of those parts of consumerism that is tough because we give these things to people. We get the public used to having these things, but then we don't put any guardrails up. So it's like, can we blame people for exposing themselves to all this stuff? But like, what do we do now? The floodgates are open.
Yeah. No, I know.
And I do think there's something to be said for excluding things like bigotry and, those kinds of things from the internet as much we can. But even that's a really hard thing to do.
And as much as I hate to say it, there is a level of subjectiveness to it.
There is.
Yeah. There's nuance. And like, it's like, how do you decide like what's actually crossing the line? I mean, I think it's, we pretend like it's black and white, but it's not always.
Yeah.
And I know it's tough. And even like regardless of, unsafe content, it's like the internet has provided this avenue for predators too. So I think it's just like, it's not safe for kids, period.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like, there is something about like passive and active statements, I guess, with your content. Like, it's one thing to just be like, here is my body. I'm not talking about my body in my videos. It is still influencing, but it's not like they're not actively saying, here is my body. You should be achieving this body.
Right.
Which like, I'm not trying to say that like it's not influential. It 100% is. And I think we all know that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you can tell somebody like you can't put yourself on camera and upload these videos just because you don't look a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure. No, I know. Yeah. There's certainly no easy answers. I don't know if there's any answers at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. Yeah, I mean, hopefully this trend just kind of does what a lot of trends do and fades out eventually. But it's like, I don't know. This one feels different than a lot of, because we've gone through these trends before,
Yes.
Skinny trends in beauty standards and celebrities. But this one feels more serious and dire.
Well, the GLP-1s have made it so accessible.
Yeah, because it's not a celebrity trend anymore. It is a trend for everybody,
which makes me feel like it's not going to go away.
Yeah,
it makes me feel like it might be here to stay because it's accessible to most people now. You know, in the beginning, it was still pretty expensive. Now I think it's more affordable. Now there's a pill you can take. It doesn't have to be a shot. And like they're just continuing to develop it and make it more accessible and more affordable. And that's what makes me feel like it's unfortunately probably here to stay. I don't know. Yeah. And that's not, you know, we've talked about this before. I understand GLP-1s have their place.
Sure.
But, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, at what point do we call this abuse of GLP-1s and not just use?
Yeah. Right. I know. And, you know, with all this quote unquote data and research coming out saying it can be so great for cardiovascular health and, you know, organ health and even like your mental health and brain fog and addiction and all this stuff. It's like, I feel like it's almost going to be like the weight loss is just going to become like a side effect of like, oh, well, I'm taking it for mental health and mental clarity because I have brain fog from this or that. And the weight loss is just a side effect. It's just you know what I mean? And so at a certain point, it's almost going to be like, well, everybody should just be taking them.
Right. No, I mean, that's it.
I don't know.
It definitely feels like that already to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things, like, I don't judge anyone for taking it, but also, like, are we just collectively, it's become like a vitamin where you just take a
supplement.
Little GLP-1. Yeah.
It's a supplement. Yeah. No, I know. A supplement prescribed by your Swan Beauty Smart Mirror.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Lord. I forgot about the Swan Beauty Smart Mirror.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, should we do a little reality check?
Sure.
Okay. What happened? Oh, well, I feel like the Lacey and Michelle conversation like went on so long in this one, and it was just like, okay, any like a good standing, that all went down the drain. It was such like a cringy conversation and just like, I don't know.
I know.
Like, what?
Yeah, like nothing seemed resolved either, and like it felt like they've regressed so much. Like Michelle seemed like they had gotten to a good place.
Yeah.
With Jesse and with Lacey. And I think it's one of those things where it's like you watch the show and then you're like, oh, actually there's a lot of things I'm pissed off about still.
Yeah.
But like Michelle seems to still like harbor some feelings she hasn't really worked all the way through. Because I was kind of surprised, honestly, at like her level of anger and frustration. Yeah. Not that she shouldn't be, but like it seemed like they had kind of gotten somewhere, and now it feels like they have not gotten anywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like this episode kind of focused around like the money and like, you know, him taking out that loan, and which I don't know. It was like he kept calling Michelle a liar, but he also wasn't like, I didn't do that. I didn't take that loan out. He just kept calling her a liar, but then like wouldn't say anything to like actually like defend himself and then the whole, you know, them saying that Lacey pays for him, and she's like, I've never experienced him having money issues, like I'd rather light myself on fire than pay for a man. And like, and then her like saying it was misogynistic of them to like, she kept, I don't know, and I feel like she did that kind of in the first episode too, when she kept saying, I'm always going to take your side as a woman or a mother. I feel like she's like pandering to the audience a little bit with that stuff.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's why Michelle's so upset, is because I think she comes off like that, but then there's been any instances where she doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, I think Lacey is calculated a little bit.
I think even Andy was like, how's that misogynistic? Like, what? And I'm not saying that she like doesn't know what it means, but it's just like, that's kind of like a buzzword, kind of, you know what I mean? I feel like she was just trying to like,
she's the ultimate girl's girl is what she's trying to portray herself as. Yeah,
yes,
like I am a girl's girl. I support women always.
Yes,
you're the one who doesn't.
Right.
So that's why everyone should take my side. Yeah.
I also think she does this kind of like I low-key hate Jesse thing too, that she thinks is like cute and like and it's like, well, you obviously like him or you wouldn't be with him. Yeah, I don't know.
She is an interesting one because she is a man hater technically.
Yeah.
She said, I mean, I'm using that word kind of flippantly, but like she does say things kind of in jest a lot that infer that, you know, like
absolutely
men are the worst, you know. She says things like that kind of in humor that I think, you know, she's positioning herself.
Absolutely, which I find so interesting because it's like, okay, you'd light yourself on fire before you pay for a man, but you're dating Jesse Lally.
Yeah, right.
I want to ask her, like, what are the qualities in him that you deem to be dateable qualities? Like, why are you with him if you're this like independent, like, I'm not putting up with men's bullshit, I'm not paying for them, and she's constantly like, Jesse, don't, you know, like kind of
she's
chastising
him
and you know, criticizing him. It's like, well, then what are the qualities that make you want to be with him? I'm confused.
Yeah, I know, because it does feel like she's constantly teaching him something.
Yeah,
you know, like he's done so much growth since he's been with Lacey because of her. Right. So it's like, are you just constantly training this guy for what? Yeah. For what reason?
Right. If
like you don't have the time to waste on that, why are you continuing to do it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something, and everyone seems to love her.
Really,
that's
like
the
her.
Thing. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, but there's always something that's made me go like, I'm not so sure.
No, for sure, 100%. I know. We'll see. Remains to be seen.
Yeah.
What else did we get into? Kristen and Luke are miserable.
Oh yes. Yes, this is what I wanted to talk about. And we have a really exciting guest coming up that we're going to talk to about this. I can't wait to hear what she has to say. But
the therapy thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because they went to couples therapy, I guess, under Luke's suggestion. He was the one who suggested it, although he's never done therapy individually.
Right. And we saw him say on the show that the therapist manipulated him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God. But yeah, I guess Kristen was saying that, like, they kind of stopped doing it, haven't gone back. They were like, their therapist said if they come to couples therapy and it's too volatile and they don't come to any sort of progress or resolution, that they should stop going to couples therapy. And she didn't say this specifically, but she kind of inferred, go back and work on yourselves, go to therapy individually, because you have some internal growth you need to do before you can grow as a couple, which I don't know, Luke seems resistant to.
I can kind of understand that. I feel like that's kind of what she was implying, but she didn't fully say it all the way.
Yeah.
I could maybe see a therapist being like, let's hit the pause button on this, put a pin in it, go do some individual therapy, and then come back to this. Because kind of the way she said it at the start was like, if you're coming in here so volatile and you can't, then you're not ready.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're like past.
Right, exactly.
I mean, what do you mean you're not ready?
I know you're not. Yeah. And I also, this is totally me just projecting again, but I wonder if it's just like, if the therapist's like, this guy has a lot of work to do before he's ready to be in a relationship. I mean, I don't know. I've been kind of hard on Luke. I just feel like he is not emotionally mature enough to be in a marriage or
I agree. I think that's what it comes down to with me, with Luke too. And I think I said this before, I don't find him to be as nefarious as like a Danny or even a Jesse. I just think he's very, very immature.
Yeah, and selfish.
Yes.
Selfish.
And, you know, we don't know much. I mean, even though he is from Brown County and he did go to Brown County High School with people that we know, we don't actually personally know Luke. I mean, we haven't heard a lot about his like upbringing or like things that could have like affected him in his life and whatever. So I would be curious to like get to know him a little bit more on that level, like just as a viewer. Because I do think he just seems very, very immature and very not capable of communication without really saying unkind things and like really like hitting below the belt. I don't know. So, and I mean, of course, Kristen's, what did Jack say? You're no angel either, sweetheart. Like, I know that like Kristen's not a perfect person either. It was just such a strange thing to be like, what do you mean your therapist stopped coming to therapy and you're not ready? And then I do feel like when they were sitting there and Andy was like, are you guys happy? I mean, they looked miserable. I mean,
Luke didn't answer also, or they didn't show his answer.
No, I know.
So, and he's obviously not. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I feel like he would not be in this relationship. And that's the thing. I don't feel like
without
the relationship got bad until she got pregnant. And it was like I said the last time we talked about it. It was like it got hard for a second and he's like, what is this? Yeah, like you said to your point about knowing more about him, I'd be very curious to know what his parents' relationship was like and what idea of marriage he had modeled for him. Because it really feels to me like he had this one idea of what marriage was going to be like. Mm-hmm. And now that is not what his marriage has turned out to be, he is like, I don't know if I want to do this. Because I, in my mind, had this picture of, the mom takes care of the baby. I go out for fishing trips. I come back and we parent together. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like he didn't realize he was going to have to make any sacrifices.
Right.
Whatsoever.
No, I know.
Or compromises. Like,
And I mean, he did make one comment, or maybe it was Kristen. I can't remember. One of them did say, I can't remember if it was on the reunion or if I heard it somewhere else, but he did make a comment about how much his life changed just deciding to be in a relationship with Kristen, like even before the baby, which I can give him a little bit of grace with that because he's right. I mean, he was just like this Indiana
regular
country
guy.
boy. I think he was living in Colorado when they met, like just living in the country, doing his thing, hunting, fishing, whatever. And then, I mean, now he's with Kristen. He's on this reality show. And I do remember them having a conversation at one point where he did kind of give her a little bit of an ultimatum with the baby where I remember them talking about this. And he was like, if we're going to have a child, at some point we're moving back to Colorado or Indiana or wherever. I'm not doing this life forever with a child
in LA.
And I remember Kristen talking about it then later on like a podcast or something. The person brought it up and she was like, yeah, and we will like eventually, but this is my life. Like, this is what, kind of talking about how she convinced him to move there and like, so I get that too. Like, it's not that he hasn't made any sacrifices or changed anything. I mean, he has. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just, we'll see.
That was another thing on the episode too, where, he said something about when we move to Colorado and she was like, well, we're not moving there. And her reaction, he seemed hurt by. Yeah. He was kind of offended. And then she was like, well, I mean, I love the ranch, but it's in the middle of nowhere. We're not moving there. And it just felt like, man, you guys are not on the same page about anything.
No.
Like, that seems like a very serious conversation. And you two seem to have very differing views that you kind of feel like you had no idea the other person felt.
I know.
So I know. Like, so I don't know. I hope the best for them. Right. Kristen seems like she really wants to make it work. He seems kind of like, when they were asking, like, would you still marry her? Or do you still plan to, I don't remember what the question was. Are you still planning to get married? And he was very like.
He didn't answer that either.
No.
I think the only thing he said was, I mean, we're not breaking up.
Right.
But he didn't answer when Andy asked if they were happy. He didn't really have an answer when he said, are you still getting married? Like, I don't know.
Mean, at least he's honest with his feelings. I'll give him that. But like, that would have been hard to be Kristen and sit there and hear those answers. So I was just like,
for sure.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. But
oh boy.
Yeah, and I do feel like with the Danny, and I thought it was really interesting and kind of a nice moment for once where I was like, oh man, is this going to be what it takes for them to kind of like see each other's side and find some resolution, was when they were talking about, you know, the reaction of the internet and social media to Danny and his behavior.
Oh, yeah. When him and Janet kind of came together on that.
And when he was like, you know, people have literally told me to go kill myself so my wife and kids can have a chance at a good life. And I mean, that's just awful.
That's insane.
I mean, we've been very critical of Danny, obviously.
Yes,
we have let it fly at our frustration with the things he does, but like,
yes, but
no one should ever have to endure that.
No, and you know, we have this podcast, we talk about things. You can have a discourse, you can dislike somebody. There is absolutely no reason for people to be saying and doing these things.
Yeah.
I just cannot understand it ever. What is wrong with people?
Yeah. And, you know, Janet has been enduring that as well.
Yes.
Over the years. So I think, you know,
it's
him
so
finally,
crazy.
I think he even did kind of say like, yeah, I feel bad and regret some of the things I did to fan those flames, like liking and circulating posts.
Yes.
Like, because I didn't realize till now just how hurtful all of that backlash is.
Right.
And they did kind of have a moment. And I was like, and, you know, Nia kind of brought up, like, we didn't know about your experiences, although, no, they didn't know specifically, but it's also like, you could have maybe connected the dots a little bit. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you're reading the stuff online enough to be sharing it and liking it, yeah, I mean, there should be maybe a little light bulb going off being like, ooh.
Yeah, but it's like, they still, I don't know what, they can't just like, they have just dug their heels in so hard about somebody needing to apologize for everything. I just feel like they get so close. You know what I mean?
Right. And then they get pulled right back.
Yeah.
No, I know. And it's like, I just can't. It's just displaced blame on Danny and Nia's part. It just is. They're so focused on her saying that it was SA.
Yeah.
And they're so latched on to that. I truly think they think that had she not said those two words, it wouldn't have turned into what it turned into. And I just don't think that's the case.
No.
Had Janet not called it that, somebody online would have.
Yeah.
Somebody else would have, and the exact same thing would have happened. So,
yeah, exactly. It is displacing blame. Like, you were the one who did the thing. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if they'll ever convince them of that, but
yeah, no, I don't think so either. But yeah, like, the wedding.
I know. I can't wait to hear.
I know.
Also, thank God for Lala. I mean, she also brought up a really good point that I don't think has been said to anybody, which was a big problem this season of like everyone being like, you can drink, Danny.
Yes.
You can drink.
Yes.
I was like, no, you can't.
Yes.
You can't. At least not in public around all these people.
Right.
Because like that is part of the problem and it's very confusing.
Yes. Yeah. I know. She can really say no wrong this season for me. I mean, thank God. Yeah,
she's the truth sayer for sure.
Yeah, but she definitely knows how to do reality TV.
Yeah, I know. Should we guess what we think happened at the wedding?
I swear I saw something where they were talking about how he didn't have a shirt or shoes on.
Yeah.
I may have made that up, though. I can't find it now.
I feel like back when the wedding actually happened, I remember Nia posted some like pictures or something where he was in it, and I was like, oh, Danny looks drunk for sure. But he wasn't like, obviously they weren't like inappropriate or anything, but you could tell. Or maybe it was a video where she was like, oh yeah, Danny's 2 sheets for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's since deleted it or maybe it was a reel, but yeah, I can't wait to hear. And I hope, and he straight up lied already because he was like, were you drinking at the wedding? He was like, no. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
You know, there's proof of it.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, so crazy. I know. And I really hope it's like, well, I mean, I say I hope, like maybe they've endured enough, but I kind of hope it's not just like a nothing burger. You know how they do that sometimes? Make it out to be like this big thing, and then it's just like, and then it is burger. Just like he was dancing with his shirt off or something.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah. We'll see.
Is there nothing else? Nothing's happening on Orange County.
My God. Orange County is so boring. They have got to shake it up.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to.
Yeah, the Dior bag thing is just like, oh, okay, guys.
I mean, I feel like they brought this Carmela girl in just to set her up as like the Amanda Francis of the group, like the scammer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's become a character arc on Housewives, like since like Jen Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we had Teresa back in the day, but like I just feel like there's been almost every franchise now. We have brought someone on where people are like, they're funny with the money. Where are they getting their money? You know, and now it's like she's been brought in as like that character.
Yeah.
And like, it is kind of funny how like, what do you mean you're just going to bring Jen in on the project? Like,
oh, I know. That was kind of like, sure, let's just cut your teeth on this huge project that you've never done before.
Right. I understand what she's saying. Like, let's just see if it's something she might be interested in. But then I can't remember who it was. I think it was Vicky, where she was like, a job like that requires capital and licensing and like all of these other things. Not that she couldn't go and pursue those things if it was something she was going to be interested in, but it is just like a funny thing to just be like, yeah, let me just bring you in on the next project. Like, what? I don't know.
It's not quite how that works.
Yeah. No, not exactly.
She's an interesting one. Her relationship with their husband is interesting one too. So,
like her actual husband or her boyfriend?
Oh, is that guy just her boyfriend? They're not married?
Yeah. So she's married to Jeff Garcia, who is a quarterback, and they've never gotten divorced.
Okay.
And then she has this boyfriend who I guess is cheating on her, or was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Working through it.
Yeah. I don't know. But other than that, it's extremely boring. Like something they need to, I don't know if they need to like reboot the cast or what, but
I know. They just don't have super interesting lives, I guess.
Not really anymore. I don't know what the answer is over there.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, Shannon Bedore is just kind of like kooky now.
I mean, Shannon's probably the most interesting just because she's funny.
Yeah,
like,
she is funny.
I like Shannon, but yeah, I don't know. I mean,
they all just seem to get mad about like, they just like bicker at each other about like little things of their friendship, where it's like not like a real substance, you know?
Right.
Where it's like, oh, I don't like the way she said this to me, or like
exactly, yeah.
I don't know. It's just not that
like,
interesting. We're
gonna get mad about Gina and Emily sharing rooms.
Yeah.
Like what? What do you mean? Yeah. Like you should be glad they're sharing a room. It means you get a room to yourself. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like Emily and Shane and like their kind of dynamic around their son Luke. I don't know what diagnoses he's had, but like he has some special needs, and like how that was kind of affecting their marriage, and like, you know, seeing some of that more like relatable parenthood stuff had some substance, and they haven't really talked much about that. I do think we're maybe going to get a little more insight into Emily and Shane's marriage like later on in the season, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like there was some stuff of substance last season that we haven't really like picked back up this season or like touched on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with like Jen and Ryan's wedding and like all of that. Like it seems like we've kind of put Ryan on the back burner when like his drama with the feds and all that.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause we're like 7 or 8 episodes in and none of that's been brought up. So it just seems very, the drama and the fighting seems very like superficial this season, and it's just kind of like
Yeah, I thought that scene with Jen and her son though was really interesting, and Lauren made a post about that, which I was like, yeah,
I saw that.
I know. Even myself, before I saw that post, I was just like, oh my god, you can't be breaking down. He needs you. Like, you're supposed to be he's supposed to be crying on your shoulder.
No, 100%. It's like, now I have to manage your feelings about this.
Right. I know. And like the reasons that she pinpointed why she thinks she did that were, I thought, fascinating.
Yeah.
Just like, I always have to be the ultimate, what's the word she used? Giver or healer, but it's on false pretenses. Like when I actually blows come to blow and he needed me, I did the absolute opposite.
Yeah.
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 So it must be a really hard situation, but
yeah. And there was one scene. I don't think it was in this most recent episode, maybe the one before. There was one scene of her and Ryan in the store, and they were kind of talking about the kids. And then she said something in a confessional that was kind of like, where like maybe her and Ryan fight about how she approaches the kids with things. I can't remember what it was now. Do you remember? I can't remember.
He had in his confessional, he was just like, the dad needs to be around more. Like, their dad isn't in the picture enough.
That's right.
And like, he's like, I just think if you're a father, like, part of your job is just, being involved.
Yeah.
And when he was defending himself, I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that. Like, I think it is a tough position to say that about somebody else,
Right.
There are a lot of extenuating circumstances, obviously. And I would imagine, and I think she took that personally as if I am not allowing the dad in their life.
Right. Or she's not pushing for it enough.
Yeah. Or like, we just got to a good place and now he has things to say, which I think is, kind of understandable defensive,ness where it's just like, don't monitor my parenting. But it's also like, if you're involved.
Exactly. If you're going to marry this guy and the kids are all living under your roof, like, yeah. I know. This is the other thing I want to ask Lauren about too, is I'm so curious her take on Brock. Like, I am so curious about that as a parent, and there is just nothing that could keep me from my children. And there is nothing that could motivate me to leave the country that my children live in and move halfway across the world. And like, it's just something that women don't do. Women don't have second families. Women don't abandon families for new families. Yeah. And I'm not saying that mothers don't ever walk out on their kids. They do. It's not unheard of, but they don't do it and then go start another family.
Yeah. Well, and I think he left. I don't think he left to start a new family. I think he left to be a young person.
Right.
And then ultimately did end up having a family. But I totally agree with you. Yeah.
I'm just so curious, like, what her take is on that. Obviously, there's individuality and nuance to everything, and we can't generalize 100%, but it takes me back to our conversation about the male loneliness epidemic and that article that woman wrote. I think it was the New York Times response to the interview with Scott Galloway and Anderson Cooper that we talked a little bit about in the episode. And I can't remember the exact stats, but there was a couple of paragraphs in there about what happens when families separate and, the father moves out or parents divorce. The amount of contact the father has with the children once he's been removed from the primary relationship with the mother and is no longer living in the house. And then the longer he's out of the house, like the less, it was just like wild to me. It's like, right.
And you have to, it's hard not to think that, like, I don't know, I guess people could interpret that a couple ways. I think a lot of men would see that data and say, oh, see, women are keeping the fathers from their children, when in fact, I bet a lot of it is, it's also up to the parent, the father, to make the time and insert themselves in their lives. Like,
yes.
Just because they're like, they don't have primary custody, they could still have, they should be taking it upon themselves to make sure that they're seeing their children.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of that is like, it's just not as important to them. It's hard not to deduce that.
I know. Yeah. Maybe I'll pull those stats for when we
that
have
is
her
some
on,
really
but yeah. Anyway,
I'm also very curious to talk about Stassi.
Yeah.
And that whole relationship.
Yeah, I know. And like, it's funny because, you know, and I know you don't consume as much of the like podcast circuit and stuff, but she was recently on Disrespectfully with Katie and Dana, and she was just talking about like, Dana was like, so apparently you're a narcissist. And she was like, you know, I might be. And she's like, I'm something. I'm definitely something. And like, they were kind of talking about it. And, you know, you can hear someone talk and like you can have like more like sympathy and like understanding kind of like what they're going through and stuff. I think honestly, like the hard thing for me is like, have you grown from all of this stuff that you've said and done? And I feel like that's the thing nobody will touch. And it's just like, it's so frustrating because I get it from like a PR standpoint. I think it's just like, she probably goes on podcasts and her publicist is probably like, you can't ask her about these things. She talked about, you know, the whole like Nazi chic thing. Like, you know, I mean.
Wait, what is Nazi chic? Do I not know this term?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact situation, but she like posted an outfit or like something and called it Nazi chic.
This is Stassi?
Yes. This has been a while back, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just been the faith thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's not great. You know, and then she was talking about the Harvey Weinstein thing at one point, saying like no one could ever force her to give somebody a BJ. And
God.
You know, so like,
yeah,
honestly, like that's kind of the stuff I'm more interested in is like, is there growth from that? Those are the things that we want to grow and evolve from societally, I feel like, but it's also just like the things that nobody will touch or talk about because I think they're afraid to say the wrong thing. And it's like, we can't grow because nobody will talk about it.
Yeah, and I worry too with her, like, does she think what she did was actually wrong?
Right.
Or does she just realize she has to apologize because the public is telling her to?
Right.
Or she's so strong-headed and stubborn that, like, and also very manipulative, you know, and calculated. So I think in ways mostly for, like, reality television, you know? Yeah. But it does worry me that, like, she's like, I don't really think it was that big of a deal, but I know the rest of the world does. So right. I'm going to bring on the 2 black girls from my last cast that I'm friends with now.
Right.
And like that should be enough.
I know. And it's like, obviously there was some kind of decision made that like that needed to be addressed, but like that's not the only thing. And she also, like we talked about before, all she really did was talk about how it kind of affected her, like, and how she
it was
feels.
all very self-serving.
And if you're going to focus on the you of all of it, you would think you would focus on what you've learned and what you did in order to try and grow from that.
Yeah, and it was all about the consequences she suffered.
Exactly,
you know,
yeah.
Like, I didn't have a job, and I was pregnant, and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, yeah, we get it. Like,
I know.
Consequences are tough when you have to suffer them, but, like,
I know.
You're missing the point.
I know, and it's just, like, it's hard to, like, listen to all of this other stuff and like analyze this other stuff and talk about this other stuff when we're so clearly just like brushing all of that under the rug. Like even Katie and Dana on their podcast, they're very progressive. They're very like, you know, what we say, social justice warriors. And, you know, here they have her on, and I don't know. It's just so strange because these are things that they would normally talk about with other people or criticize other people for. Like if a TikTok creator came out and said something like Stassi has said, they'd probably be talking about it on their podcast. But then they have her on and we're talking about the narcissism and all this stuff. Like, but we're just very clearly brushing all of that under the rug. You know what I mean? It's just such an interesting, weird place to be because it's like, and I mean, it just really makes me think that like nobody really cares, and like it just comes down to like, well, Stassi's our friend and we're on this show now, and even though we probably wouldn't platform somebody else who's done things like this, we're gonna platform Stassi and we're not gonna say anything about it.
Well, and that's why the show felt really flat to me, was because it's like, why does Stassi have a show? what does Stassi have to say about anything? Nothing, really. This show is because she wants to be on television.
Right.
She wants to be rich and famous. Not that I'm saying, like, most people don't, but, like, she would have had a really great, that storyline of, like, that could have been a much bigger part of the show.
Right.
Being, like, my, you know, realization and then internal growth.
Yes.
Of, like, coming to terms with a lot of, like, the very unpretty parts of myself.
Right.
You know? But that wasn't. It was
and
just
I
like
feel like that was kind of the theme, because there was sort of this element of, like, I've grown, I've changed. I'm not, like, the season 1 Stassi monster that I was on Vanderpump Rules. But
except
it's like,
she is.
except she is kind of. But it focused more on, like, just, like, her persona as, like, kind of being reactive and being, like, you know what I mean? It had nothing to do with her, well, I think what most of us consider her actual crimes, which are these, like, controversies and things that she's had. And, like, what do you mean? Like, so I don't know. Like, it's just such a, it's very similar to how we felt, or I felt about Hannah Byrne or Meg Thee Stallion, where it's like, you have this platform, you have this opportunity to, like, really get in the nitty gritty and, like, have these conversations and, like, maybe affect some change, and, like, everything just gets brushed under the rug and nobody wants to touch it. And it's just like, it was just weird listening to her on that and talking about how she might be a narcissist. And it's like, okay, but, like, what about this other stuff that we're just, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, which also, like, aren't not related. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Like, I mean, so I don't know.
And, you know, I feel like Stassi's really intimidating and good at, like, controlling conversations and narratives and, you know, kind of owning her bad behavior in a way that, like, makes it attractive almost, you know, where she's, like, likes to pit herself as the villain. So it almost works for her in a way to just be like, oh, well, yeah, I'm a narcissist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like she gets away with it because she embraces it somehow. It's like, I'm not saying she embraces the racist stuff, obviously.
Right.
But, like, she's...
The other stuff, yeah.
She's not really, like, you know, doesn't seem bothered by it.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we're at a weird place in entertainment and the internet with all of that, where we're very quick to, like, call people out, and the whole cancel culture thing, and, like, trying to decide, like, who we're going to platform and who are not. But then nobody's really having the real conversation. At least none of the people that are involved. The internet's having the real conversation. Podcasts are having the real conversation to an extent. But nobody involved in any of these things is having the real conversation. And I'm just like, where does that put us in all of this? Like, how are we going to actually learn and grow?
Well, yeah, our country is not as has always been obsessed with punishment, but never reformation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same way our prison systems work, where it's like, nope, go to jail. Just, we lock them up, throw away the key, but we're not really concerned about whether they're, you know, growing.
Right. Changing.
So when they're changing, so when they're released back into society, potentially, like, have we fixed anything? No.
No,
I think the same thing. And I think that is what a lot of people's problem with cancel culture is, because we like to tell people they're wrong and they should be, you know, they should be sorry for what they've done. But nobody really has solutions for people of, like, so what would have been the best thing for Stassi to do?
Right.
How should she have apologized the right way? What should the steps of growth be for that? Yeah. And I don't think many people have that answer.
Right.
So it's like they get to a point where they say, okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
And then it's like no one's there to advise them on, like, how do you grow? How do you change? You know?
Right. Well, and I think too, like, unfortunately, I think they're just told not to. I really do. I think they have these teams of people who the bottom line is the thing they're most concerned about. How are we going to keep you marketable? How are we going to keep you making money? Don't address it. We need to move on from it as quickly as possible.
Appearances are all that really matter. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because especially when we're talking about things in terms of the reality TV realm, because there is a reality aspect to it. And it's like, these are real people, you know, in real scenarios. And these are the things that they're doing and saying. And it's like, I don't know. It's just, anyway, I got off on kind of a tangent there, but it was just.
No, it was a good one because it's a real problem. And I think it's specifically harmful when these people are doing it on television.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So.
Oh, other thing I wanted to bring up, which may be a little too late to talk about now, but Jax and Brittany, did you see like the emails?
Yes.
And I just want to be like, man, is he just really unwell? Like, he released these emails he wrote to her that make him look absolutely insane.
Crazy.
I was just like, what are you doing? And your PR girlfriend allowed you to do this?
Right.
Like, is she unwell too? Like, what is going on over there?
I have no idea. I saw that too and was like, what? I don't know what his goal is with all of this. Like, you are done, dude. I don't know. Like, I just.
Well, he's probably just desperate and grasping at straws because I think he probably realizes, I'm done. I also have no way to support myself anymore. No. And I mean, to his own fault, his own end, you know, like he has no one to blame but himself. But like, he probably is just like, I have to do anything I can to save a little bit of face, although the damage is done. Like, there's
absolutely. And like, there's just nothing, like, even if one or two of the things he's saying is true, like she didn't call a doctor back or something, like nobody cares. That little boy is taken care of. She's doing fine. Like, it's not, I mean,
it's just so laughable to think anybody would think Jax Taylor is doing anything for his son.
No.
And his education. Just like, obviously not. And I just want to know, I want to hear from this PR person. And like, on video, I want to hear her say the words, like, and defend him. Like, how?
I cannot understand that publicist. I just cannot. I mean, how she has been there for front row seats of this whole thing. And like,
I know. And that, do we have sympathy for her that like she is a victim of Jax Taylor and his
she's
ways,
a tough one to have sympathy for?
Or are we like, you knew the playbook? How could you let yourself, you know, because I can kind of see it from both sides where it's like he is the perpetrator, but like how innocent is she if she has experienced all this with her?
I know. And it's one of those things where, you know, Brittany's had a lot of that criticism. A lot of people have come for Brittany saying, you knew what he was when you married him and yada, yada. And she's talked a lot about that on her podcast and just, you know, different interviews and whatever about, you know, I'm really glad that those people have never experienced it because you just don't know until you've experienced it. But there is something that it feels different about this one simply because even though Brittany like met Jax and then heard all this stuff, and so sure, she had some insight, she didn't know him while he was with these other women and like witness the whole thing with her own eyes and ears and also be a confidant to the person that he's dating. That's what feels so insane about this one is that she knew every single detail.
I know.
So I'm sure there's still a level of manipulation and love bombing and whatever. I'm sure. But it's like, I really struggle with this one to not just be like, girl,
I know.
Please.
I know. But it also makes me think like, man, he must be so good because he probably picked her.
Yeah.
He probably picked her and zeroed in on her.
Yeah.
And, you know, did what he's best at.
Yeah. No, I know.
I don't know. I know, but I feel the same. That's a really tough one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And goddamn, poor Brittany. Not only does she just have to deal with Jax Taylor the rest of her life, but like, man,
I can't imagine.
The hits just don't stop coming. Like, are you kidding me?
I know. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a new low even for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. And now this whole email, like he's just grasping at straws to stay relevant and stay in the headlines. And like, Yeah. I mean, not one single brand is going to reach out to you, Jax, and be like, oh, what a hero. Thank you for telling the truth. Would you like a brand deal? Like, get out of here.
Right.
No, I know. Oh, my gosh.
I know. The fake brand deal thing. Woof.
Yeah,
so
that was
embarrassing.
Yikes spikes. Okay, I did finally watch Obsession and Backrooms.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Highly
Give us
recommend
your-
both. I personally enjoyed Backrooms a little bit more. I liked them both very much. I will say, for a horror movie and a new movie, Backrooms, excellent lighting budget. You could see the whole movie.
Nice.
It was wonderful.
Don't get that often. Yeah.
No. I can't say the same for Obsession. There was some lighting issues going on there. But I was laughing because I'm watching Backrooms and I'm like, yes, this is how I know a man wrote this movie. So this really, if you know anything about the origin of the movie or you've read even the description, this is not going to be a spoiler. But if you're going in completely blind, maybe skip forward like 30 seconds. But there's a point in the movie where there's a woman and she's going into the basement of the furniture store where like the door into the back rooms is. And she's like heard about it, but she's like, I got to go and like see if this is real. So she's walking down the stairs and the door is like in the wall. And the person that she heard about it from has like drawn around like where the door is supposed to be. It's like a kind of like a portal, right? And she's walking towards it. She sees it. She's like, okay. So she's coming down the stairs and she's wearing a blazer with like a shirt underneath and she's got her hair pulled up. And then it cuts to the wall and shows the wall where like the door is kind of traced around. And then it cuts back to her. And this is a woman about to go through a portal door. Okay. And she's not totally sure what she's going to find on the other side. And when it cuts back to her, she's taken her blazer off. Sure, fine. But she has taken her hair down. And I was like, 100% no. A man wrote this movie. I'm sorry, but if you're a woman and you're about to go through a portal door, that is 100% a hair up mission. You are not taking your hair down. That was a major oversight. So
no, that's hilarious.
It reminded me of the scrunchie scene in Sex and the City when she's like, I just have one criticism.
Oh, yeah.
To Burger. And she's like, a New York girlie not wearing a scrunchie. Yeah. He gets like all mad about it.
But heard about it? Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So.
No, it's so true. Like, she looks hot her hair down, so we're going with hair down.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's funny. That is a hair up mission.
100% a hair up mission. You're not taking your hair down. So yeah. But very good. I enjoyed both of them quite a bit. I will say it was kind of funny because, you know, we talk about like it always has to be like existential interpretation. Like that's just like the new thing. Like, you know, the less sense it makes, the better. And I did read an article because I was like, the ending and everything of Backrooms, like open to interpretation, I'm sure. And I'm like, let me just see what the creator director has to say about it. So like Googled it and there's an article where he's like, yeah, I've always been kind of like disappointed or don't like that when I see like what the interpretation is from the person who wrote it or whatever. He's like, so I'm just like not going to say. And you just kind of like decide. And then the person who wrote the article kind of had their take on it. But yeah, it's like, you know, there is something to be said occasionally for a movie that is not left open to interpretation. Like, just give me an interpretation. Just be like, yes, that makes so much sense. I got it. Yeah. Like, you know,
I know.
So I feel like
yeah,
that
I don't want it to be
just doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's true. It's like it's like people think high art is just like not making sense.
Right.
Or like, ooh, why don't you write the end for yourself?
Right.
Like, why don't you write the story for me?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why don't you just finish the movie and give us a resolution? Yeah.
No, 100%.
And if it's happy, I don't mind.
Yeah, it can be happy. It doesn't have to be, you know, not everything has to be a metaphor for trauma.
No, it's true.
You know? No, but I enjoyed both of them very much. Highly recommend.
Well, maybe during the daytime sometime I'll watch them.
I don't think you would have a problem with Backrooms at all.
Okay.
Obsession, maybe.
Yeah.
Watch that one in the daylight. Plus, you'll need the light to see it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your reporting.
Yes.
Should we get into the weeds?
We don't have time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, no, that's
Should
fine.
we just save it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if do we have any other topic we can lightly touch on to wrap up? Do we want to talk about the Sig Mom?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Did you have anything else?
No, I don't know what this last note meant.
So I kind of wanted to get your take on this. I think it's just another one of those like kind of double-edged sword internet things. There's this woman on TikTok, and I want to say she's come up in the last like year or so, and I'm not exactly sure what she posted originally that like made everybody like comment all of this, and like it kind of went viral. But she posted something like a video or a picture, and basically I think she was 35 or 36 years old at the time, and everybody was like, oh, you look like a 50-year-old cigarette mom. And that just like kind of became the thing. And so she went on this like glow up journey and started posting like, well, what can I do? And like, you know, she doesn't smoke. She's 15 years younger than everybody says she looks. And, but anyway, the thing that I find interesting is like throughout this entire journey, you know, she started to really invest in herself maybe in a way that she hadn't before. And, you know, that has its own themes and implications and things that we could get into too. We've talked about this before in terms of like, at what point is something actually self-care, and at what point are we just like pandering to the male gaze and all of that. So yeah. Of course there's that aside. She definitely started making time for herself that she hadn't, I don't think, been previously making. So as she's kind of posting these videos and you're watching her go through this journey and take more time for herself, you can see little glimpses into her relationship and marriage. And there became this discourse in the comment section of like, your husband is kind of a loser. He was not supportive of her because she's a stay-at-home mom too. And I don't know if she ever said like what he does, but he works outside the home and she's a stay-at-home mom. I think she has 3 kids. And it became pretty evident throughout her posting these things that like he wasn't very supportive of like her going to an appointment or like, you know, just things came up, and there was a lot of comments of like, dude, your husband sucks. When are you going to leave him? You got to divorce him. And I wish I had some more concrete examples. I've just kind of like bopped in and out. There's been some ones that I've seen where I was definitely like, yikes, like he said that, or that, you know what I mean? Like there were definitely some things that were red flaggy, but now she has left him. And it's just interesting because obviously like 20 years ago, you didn't have social media. You didn't have sort of this outside perspective that weren't like your close family and friends. We talk about how people hide behind their keyboards and can be so emboldened to say these like horrible, nasty things to people because there's this level of, you know, I can't say this word.
Anonymity?
Yes, anonymity. And how most of the time that's a bad thing, right? And then you have a case like this where I think it emboldened people to be like, girl, you need to look at this man, look at your relationship, because this is not right the way he's treating you and yada, yada. And like maybe sometimes people in your life aren't always as emboldened to say that, you know, like sometimes you feel like you have to tread lightly with friends and relationships and you want to be honest, but you also are like, it's their husband, it's their, you know what I mean? And anyway, I don't know. I'm just curious, like, your thoughts.
No, there's lots of layers to it.
There's lots of layers to it
that are conflicting. Because like when you first told me about it and you were like, she started her glow up journey, I was just like, I hate that for her. She was out here just being like, yeah, this is how I look. Right. Probably would have never occurred to her that she look like a smoker.
Right.
You know, and like she starts this glow up because people are making fun of her on the internet. Like it doesn't seem really healthy to me.
Right.
You know, you're quote unquote glowing up to please the gaze of other people. Even though maybe she made some improvements to her physicality that made her feel better about herself, they seem to be coming from a negative place and like, you know, rooted in something that I don't think is necessarily healthy. But then, I mean, getting rid of your bum husband, I guess, is a positive, a net positive. And like, it is just interesting how conflicting the internet can be. And like, so was that a net positive for her? Like,
well, and I think at the end of the day, I think it is. And I think watching this journey of hers, she's so much more confident and she's so much more sure of herself. And I think, I don't know what was going on in terms of like, was her husband putting her down? You know what I mean? Because since the original like kind of insult of the 50-year-old cigarette mom, her audience has been very supportive. You know what I mean? Like when you're in her comment section, which is also like two sides of the same coin, because it's like, oh, now that she's trying to get pretty, everybody's like, woo,
yeah, we love you, girl. Yeah.
But at the same time, there's also something very like women for women, you know, and a community of supportive women. I do think this like kind of gave her the confidence to start confronting her husband about some of this stuff, because there was quite a bit of content around that too. Like people would be like, I don't know. And she'd be like, no, I know. We're talking about this stuff now. And there did seem to be some conversations going on between the two of them that maybe she didn't have the confidence to like stand up for herself before. And now it seems like she does. And then it seems like she kind of made the realization that like, he's not changing. I deserve better than this. And now she has left him. But I don't know. It's just an interesting case. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting too, just like how much of our confidence comes from our physical appearance. You know, it's just kind of hard that like, even like you said, when you start to glow up or make changes where you're not only more accepted by people who are viewing you, but you feel better about yourself too internally, how much that does improve your sense of yourself. Yeah. It gives you the strength and power to look at your life differently and remove things that aren't serving you anymore. Right. On one hand, I want to say that's a sad reality, but like maybe it's not sad. Maybe it's just how we are as people. And like, because that is a very double-edged sword too, that's where it's like, man, I hate that like she had to be, you know, made fun of like that.
No, I know.
But it's also like, but if it worked and it made her more confident, but is it true confidence, I guess?
No, I know. I know. That's where it's hard. And I also feel like too, there was something about, you know, the physical glow up part being a catalyst for her carving time out of her life, her domestic life and motherhood and all of that, to make time for herself and something that makes her happy, which even though it is drawn to this physical glow up, it was still obviously something I don't think she was doing before. And then that in turn then became a catalyst for her realizing that maybe her husband is not supportive of her in that way because she wasn't doing it before. And I think it just kind of snowballed.
So, like, does it matter how we got there?
Exactly.
Like, does the road there matter, or is it just the result?
Right.
I mean, I
know.
I think you can make the argument either way.
Right.
Also, one thing it makes me wonder, too, is, like, do you know, were the people initially making these comments about her being a sig mom, were those men or women, or both?
I think it was both.
Yeah. Because this is another thing I have, which this makes me think about, like, women supporting women. Like, are we only supporting women if they look acceptable, if they're pretty?
Probably.
And like they, you know, we're only supporting one type of woman, and that's the one that like we deem to be beautiful and socially acceptable,
or at least the ones that are trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's part of it too. Like, yeah, I hate to say it like this. I think if you want support online from men or women, you almost have to at least be trying to achieve some kind of standard.
Yeah. Yeah. No, agreed. Because we do love a transformation. We do the same thing with, like, you know, addicts in recovery. Yeah. We love a comeback. We love a transformation. We're kind of like obsessed with that, I feel like.
No, 100%. No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she, you know, something good came out of what started
and
out
I think
like
she would definitely, I would imagine if you asked her, she'd say it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Someone calling me a 50-year-old sick mom. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't see we obviously don't see ourselves the way other people see us.
Right.
I think we usually use that phrase in a positive way, where it's like, we all see ourselves so much uglier than the rest of the world sees us.
Right.
In
Not always.
It was the opposite. She's like, oh, I thought I looked pretty good.
And again, I can't remember what the original, because there was a trend going on around this time where it was like people would post pictures of themselves and be like, how old am I? Like, that was kind of a trend. So it may have been something like that where she was asking.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly like how it originally came about, but she just became the 50-year-old sick mom, and then it was like, yeah.
Be careful what you wish for, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Hey guys, how am I looking today?
Stop it.
Well,
maybe don't ask the internet that. Maybe don't.
Oh,
dear me.
Should we grape and gripe?
Yeah, let's grape and gripe.
All right, my gripe goes out to, I mean, obviously this is a first world problem, but like my car, I can't unlock all the doors to the car except for on the driver's side. Like my passenger side front door, there isn't a button to unlock all of the doors. So like I have to either have my key fob or unlock it from the other side. So if, like, for instance, if I'm coming out of my house and I have a bunch of stuff in my hands and my car is locked, and I want to unlock the back door, I either have to use my key fob, which is usually like in my bag or something, or walk all the way around to my driver's side car door and press the unlock button.
Oh, they're on the outside of the car.
On the inside of the car. So like I can unlock the door with the handle. Like if I have my keys in my pocket.
On the driver's side only.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but it's like I want there to be a button on the other side so that I can easier unlock the back doors.
Yeah, so that you don't have to walk around.
Yeah, which I know it's like whatever, 17 steps, but like it's annoying.
No, I hear you.
Just let me unlock the doors however I want.
No, 100%. Yeah. No, I hear that.
It was a dumb gripe, but it's annoying.
There are no dumb gripes. That's the whole point of them.
That's true. Thank you.
I may have griped this before, or maybe we've just talked about it, but I really hate when you get an avocado and it's like, you're like, it's ripe, it's ready, it's soft, and then you cut it open and like only the outside is like green and soft, and then around the pit it's like hard still and kind of watery. Did you ever get that?
Oh, I don't know if I've ever really experienced that before. I mean, I have when it's like just too hard, like all the way around, but I don't think I've ever been like deceived like that.
Yeah, no, I've had deceiving ones on the outside. It feels ripe and like maybe like a centimeter all the way around is like nice and green and ripe, but then the middle part is like very hard still and like watery.
I know what you mean by watery though.
Yeah.
Like you stab into it, it like produces. Yeah, it's weird.
I hate that.
Yeah, that is annoying. Avocados are tough. I love them so much, but
know. They really...
It's a constant struggle. I also wonder, too, if I've ever had a truly good tasting avocado. Like, I wonder if I go somewhere where, like, avocados are from, you know, and you're going to be like, oh, these avocados I've had shipped to Indiana are just...
terrible.
Because it's awful compared to, like, what they should probably taste like, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I've experienced that, I think, twice in my life. One... the pineapple in Costa Rica. And I mean, pineapple here is good too. Like, but oh my God. And then our garden asparagus.
Oh, yeah.
It tastes nothing like the asparagus you get at the grocery store.
Really?
Like, the garden asparagus is, like, so sweet and, like, it's just phenomenal.
Dang.
And it's so much less fibrous and, like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just fantastic. I couldn't believe it when we first had our first asparagus harvest, and I was like, what? I didn't know asparagus could taste like this.
What am I eating? I know asparagus lately, too, has been, like, those honkers are huge, like the big, thick stalks. I'm like, I can hardly eat this.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Cool. My grape.
Cool. Cool.
My grape goes out to my transitions. No. Or my segues. No. My grape goes out to, this is going to sound like a weird one.
We love it. We're here for a weird one.
Ready Whip. So, obviously Ready Whip is not as good as like homemade whipped cream.
Okay,
obviously.
but like who has time for that?
I know. Well, because I've been trying to find like healthier substitutes for like a sweet treat.
Right.
So I've been eating a lot of blueberries with Ready Whip on it, and it's just
delicious.
Yeah, like I'm sure it's not super healthy for you, but it's like no sugar and low in calories.
Yeah.
So it's like I gotta have something. It can't be all three. It's gotta have some like unnatural hydrogenated oil in it. But like
it's gotta have some corn syrup.
I can't check all the boxes and it still tastes good and be satisfying. So that's my new snack.
I love that.
And I've really been digging it. So
I've been thinking about getting some just to top my coffee.
Oh, I put some in my coffee earlier. Yeah. It was delicious. Yeah.
My new, I've been doing kind of the same thing. My new sweet treat is, I do dates with peanut butter in them. But when I'm feeling like I need a little something more than that, I get my yogurt and I mix peanut butter in it. And then I put some dark chocolate. Like I chop up some dark chocolate and put it in there. And it's basically like eating ice cream.
Nice.
I know.
I'll have to try that.
It's not low calorie. I mean, peanut butter and dark chocolate have a lot of calories.
Yeah.
It's not low calorie, but yeah, I'm like, there's a lot of protein and fiber.
Yeah, there you go.
Dark chocolate has fiber. So does peanut butter, but yeah, I'm like, it's protein and fiber. So, hey.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't, like I said,
you can't check all the boxes.
Perfect world. Yeah.
No, you have to leave at least one box unchecked or it's no good.
Yeah.
No good.
Yeah.
Okay. My grape is going out to Sully's Vintage, which is he's a vintage reseller. He has a booth out at Vintage Souls Antique Market if you're local to Bloomington. I've lived here for 22 years now, and I didn't even know it existed. It's out off of 45 out on the west side of Bloomington. It's a pretty decent size. There's quite a few sellers out there, and he had posted a video and I saw he had gotten these TV trays and I was like, ooh, those match the vibe of our house so much. I love them. They're beautiful. They're these vintage Robert Wood, who's a landscape artist. And I didn't even realize that they were Robert Wood when he had posted them. And I went to his booth and I didn't see him and I was like, oh man, I bet somebody snagged him already. And, so then he had posted another video and I commented on that and was like, oh, hey, I finally made it out there. I was on the hunt for the TV trays, didn't see him. And then he messaged me and he's like, oh, I have them. I guess there was a wheel missing. So he was kind of thinking about how to, kind of rehab the wheels. And he's like, I'll sell them to you. So I met up with him and bought them. I love them. I didn't even realize until I got home that they're Robert Wood. And we have 3 Robert Wood paintings in our house.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, of course they match our vibe.
Yeah, that's the same artist. That's so cool. They are very cool.
I love them.
Post about them.
They're fabulous. And it's just so funny how the thrift stars align like that because I had been thinking about getting TV trays for a while for family movie nights in the living room because my husband and I can eat off the coffee table pretty well, but the kids, it's kind of hard, because their bodies are smaller and I'm like, well, maybe if I get some TV trays, we could do pizza and movies or something. And I had even looked at a couple and I was like, ugh, and they're not a huge thing anymore. Like,
yeah,
you know, and they were just like plastic or whatever. And I was like, well, and then he posted that video and I was like, oh, these are perfect.
Meant to be.
And then they ended up being even more perfect. I realized that they were Robert Wood. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Sully.
Yeah. So check out Sully's Vintage. He posts videos of things that he fills the booth with. And yeah.
Awesome.
Check it out. If you're a thrifter or you like vintage stuff, he's got some goods.
Cool. We'll have to go sometime. You have to take me.
Yeah. We'll go out there for sure. So
cool.
All right.
Awesome. All righty. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.